When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, welcome everybody to Darlington Raceway for another night of Tech4Troops Cup Series racing. Tonight we are in South Carolina at Darlington Raceway, pretty much a classic NASCAR old school track. Here in the booth, Rick Souza and John DeRudris.
Rick, this is one of my favorite tracks. I cannot wait to see these guys hit the high banks here of Darlington. It's an oddly shaped track, and it's not for the faint of heart. The fastest way around this track is as close as you can get to the wall. I know that for a fact. So you're going to have a lot of guys trying to get all the way up there like Philip Vandertwick is right there, getting all the way up to the wall, sometimes touching the wall, and obviously known as the Lady in Black. It'll definitely be out tonight. I've already noticed some throwback paint schemes, which are pretty cool to see already. It's always fun to see some throwbacks here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. But there's one right now, I believe, that is a Terry Labonte throwback.
Yeah, that Kellogg's.
There it is, lovely.
Do you remember that was a Hendricks car with an 05 on the outside? So.
Yep, so that's a cool one right there. It's one of the first ones I've seen. Right now we're underway at qualifying, in last week's winner, Lilith Peters, top of the board for this 150-lap event here at Darlington. Pit road speed 45, no quick repairs, 5 sets of tires, 50% fuel, and as always, 3 green-white checkers. And right now the track is actually at a very lovely 79 degrees, just 1 degree above the outside air temp. So very nice track here, going to be grippy. I think you're going to see some guys trying to wall ride all the way through turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 here early on. But Rick, we're nearing the playoffs right now, so if you need to get a win, this is a great place to start off your run for a strong playoff.
This is such a challenging track. Really demands a lot of the driver. They've really got to pay attention. Coming in and out of turn 2, that Darlington stripe is always going to bite. That wall just comes in just a little bit on that back stretch, but it will certainly make it very challenging for these drivers.
Definitely will, as we see Luke Bullard making his way around the track right now. He's definitely going to hit that wall. Yep, he hit the wall. Definitely hit the wall there. But right now it looks like Lilith Peters and Nathan Harper, top of the board, just like we left off last week. It looks like with Lilith at the top of the boards again. So, three-peat, question mark? We'll see. She was first driver to go, or one of the first to go back-to-back, and, with Chris Worrell there as well. So, he's now, I think, finished his qualifying run. So, Rick, it looks like we're about to set the field for tonight's Tech4Troops Cup Series Darlington event. Let's see. Everybody gritting up.
There we go.
And there we go. Lilith Peters, Kaiju Cat Motorsports on the pole with Nathan Harper to her outside with Chris Worrell in third, Zach Ward in fourth, Ty Bostic in fifth, James Lowe in sixth, Charles Van Scoik in seventh, Justin Horton in eighth, Maurice Burnett in ninth, and Harley Barletta in 10th.
In 11th, you've got Aaron Jackson. 12th, Garrett Johnston. In 13th, John Ledger. 14th, Christopher Howell. Cody Sturgill is in 15th with Sammy Harrell in 16th. Mike Slagder in 17th. Christoph Hall in 18th. Brian Johnson in 19th. And Marco Berube in 20th.
Luke Bullard starts in the 21st position with Philip Vandertwijk in 22nd. Austin Collins in 23rd with Zachary Allen in 24th in the 24. In 25th, you have Rodney Uberpacker with Jeff Nene to his outside, Ryan McRoberts in 27th, David Watts in 28th, Bobby Gibson in 29th, and rounding out your field is Ryan D. Cook in 30th.
All right. Well, that's the grid for tonight. We are just waiting for the rest of the drivers to get in the car. You can see the sun is got some afternoon late day shadows. I guess this will run into the evening.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to have a day to night transition here. We're definitely going to see that for sure. So cool to see some of these paint schemes on the track right now. Lilith Peters looking like she's running a Steve Park themed throwback there in the 01. We already saw Ty Bostic's number 22. Maybe an 07 scheme, throwing it back to Haas. It's an Army scheme, so I don't know if that is a Nemechek paint scheme or a Mark Martin paint scheme there.
Who's that?
A lot of cool cars. The 07, I believe. 07. It's an Army scheme. It reminds me of what Mark Martin ran, the U.S. Army paint scheme.
James Lowe. That's a U.S. Army.
Yep, it is. And looking back through the field, I think there's maybe some of our only potential slightly throwback paint schemes here tonight at Darlington. Either way, though, all these cars look awesome out here tonight as we're about to get 150 laps underway here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series.
Are the keys for these drivers tonight, John?
You gotta be patient. Number one, number two, you have to make sure you don't tear up the right side of your car. And three, track position. I think track position is going to be huge, especially early on and later in runs. So those are my three keys to the night. And right now, we're about to get the green flag for tonight's Tech4Troops event here at Darlington, and we are green flag in the air. Lilith Peters, Harper lead the field down into turn one. Let's see how the field spans out.
Yeah, this is a very challenging corner. A lot of drivers will approach entering turn one a lot of different ways, but really turn one is what sets you up for turn two. And if you don't hit that mark, your exit out of turn two can be a disaster.
Absolutely. And right now we're starting to see a lot of this field get single file, and that's how you have to run Darlington to be fast. And, too wide, you obviously have to pass. But single file is what we're going to probably see for a good portion of this event. With as wide as these cars are, this skinny racing surface, not a lot of room to run. Not a lot of room to run at all, especially with the banking and all the cars sliding up the track. So right now we're about to hit lap 3 here. Lilith Peters out front, Chris Worrell in second, Nathan Harper in third, Zach Ward in fourth, and Ty Bostic in P5.
Yeah, just looking back through the field, we've kind of scrolled back through it. You can see we're pretty much single file racing, trying to get around here. And that's the only way to, with this, it is a single groove track. You've really got to find your spots to make that pass, and I think more importantly, wait for that guy in front of you to make a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing you have, that was close. One thing you have to worry about, too, is braking and entry points. So a lot of different drivers run Darlington a lot of different ways, and the entry points and the braking points are going to be different. It's happened to me. It's probably happened to you. It's happened to a lot of drivers out there where the guy behind you doesn't expect you to check up as much, and next thing you know, you are into the wall, which we actually just saw the 81 of Ty Boston, or the 81 of Harley Barletta, rather, up into the wall, losing major momentum now. He is now falling back just a little bit. Tagged that outside wall in the middle of 3 and 4 last time by.
It really takes that precision to get around this track consistently.
It does. It does. And that's what's so fun about it. I love this track. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's one of the few truly non-symmetrical tracks. 1 and 2 is way different from 3 and 4, and really demands a completely different approach.
Yep, and it's fun to see how these drivers are taking this track in right now. Looking at some cars, there's the 00 on pit road. Brian Johnson.
Looks like he's already getting some damage repaired on pit road. Must have hit the wall pretty hard. Easy to make a mistake, and then you will pay for it. Again, this league does not have quick repairs, so any damage you inflict on your race car will demand you get repaired in the pits.
And Rick, while we're at it, why don't we take a look, see if we may want to go on board either Lilith Peters or Chris Worrell. That sun is brutal going down into turn 1. It is absolutely ferocious.
Let's follow along with Nathan Harper. He's behind. Let's jump in from his position.
Maybe it's turn 3, my bad. Going into turn 3, so here he goes down into turn 1, hits the bottom line all the way up to the top, back to the bottom line, then back up to the wall, and there's that lovely sun coming in right there.
You can hear just a little bit of tire squeal as they're going through these corners. That will take its toll on these tires. See him downshifting as he entered into turn 1.
Yeah, that's it's an interesting move. I like it. It definitely will help the car turn just a little bit more. Oh, we got a little bit of some smoke there out of the 06.
He also downshifted into 3 and then out of 4.
Oh, we got a car on the inside wall wrecked.
That's Jeff Denis.
No caution as of yet. Able to keep it clean and green so far. Oh, he hit the outside wall. Nathan Harper. We got a pass for the lead, though, potentially. Here comes Chris Worrell to the inside of Lilith Peters in the middle of 3 and 4. This is a treacherous place to pass. Don't know if he's going to get it done. Nope, not going to get it done this time by.
All right, keeping an eye on Chris Worrell right there in second, trying to find his way around the 0-1 of Lilith Peters. He does have Nathan Harper on his tail.
We're about to hit lap 13, and speaking about guys that are closing in, you have Garrett Johnson up 3 positions, Chris Farrell up 4 positions, Sammy Harrell up 2, Christoph Hall up 3, Zach Allen up 4, and Ryan D. Cook up 6. Some drivers you want to pay attention to potentially later in the run. And right now we are 13 laps green here. I want to appreciate everybody who's tuned into tonight's race on YouTube. We appreciate the YouTube family. And if you haven't already, say it every week, like and subscribe to the IWM Broadcast Network. We'll be pushing out many different broadcasts from here on out, obviously with the Tech4Troops Cup Series, the INRS, iNASCAR Racing Series on Thursdays, and any other special events we cover. And we thank you for tuning in. But Rick, we're almost 15 laps, 10% into this race. And what do you think? If you were in this race right now, are you conserving? Are you trying to gain as many spots as you can? What's your thought process early on in the race?
Well, for me, I've got 2 thoughts running through my head. A, I want to make sure that I'm consistent in my line and running that as best I can. Not really concerned about those folks around me. And secondly, I'm conserving. I want to do this kind of track has a lot of attrition, and you want to make sure that you've got a preserved car for later on in the event.
I agree. And right now I'm watching these 2 leaders right here. They are running almost identical laps. I think Nathan Harper hit the wall again.
Yeah, there's a good battle here. They had to work their way around the 40. There was some contact there by James Lowe. Almost. It looked like there was, but it was kind of clear. There was some contact there with the 23 as he worked his way around, trying to get past these 07.
Yeah, Nathan Harper tagged the wall a little bit, stacked up 3rd through 6th.
And we're going to see that as a common theme. It just is the way this track is laid out. It's so easy to run against that safety barrier. $18 laps in. Right about this time, John, do you think the tires are beginning to show some wear?
Oh yeah, they're definitely going away. Right now, your leaders are 6/10, almost 7/10 off their fastest lap. So they're definitely starting to fall off, and this is when you're going to start seeing them fall off even more. Yeah, last time they were 8/10 off their fastest lap, so you're going to start seeing these cars start to slow down pretty heavy. Oh, you had Lilith Peters tag the wall there in the middle of 1 and 2. Not too much damage there on the right front, just a little bit of a scrape, but able to keep going. Yeah, these tires here are like, they're not your friend. There are ways to conserve, but this track eats up tires. Also, look at this group of 5 right here. You have Van Scoik, you have Lowe, you have Harper, and that's a tough pass going into turn 1. That outside car.
Yeah, that's the 4 tag the wall. That's, again, Nathan Harper. He's got definitely some right front damage.
Yeah, he's hit that wall, I think, a few too many times on that right front of the 4. And once you do that, it's almost like it happens every other lap. It's tough. And right now it looks like you have a pack forming right behind Nathan Harper, which is led by Chris Farrell, Barletta, Horton, Burnett, Jackson, and Harrell. That is 9th on back to 14th.
Already after just 21 laps, his field is spread out across nearly the entire track. This is a feast. I don't know. In my opinion, John, this is a feast or famine kind of a track here. You either you do it, you run it well, you know how to drive this track, or you struggle.
Yep, it's one of those tracks where you have to practice. You can't come here and hit your corners exactly the same and you'll be good. No, it takes almost a lap by lap adjustment of your strategy and your take on corner entry, corner exit to keep the car underneath you, because your tires are going away. The corners are different. The track's taking in rubber. It's changing temperatures. You're going from day to night, which changes grip levels. It's one of the most unique and one of the most challenging tracks, and that's why every single car by the end of this race probably is going to have what's called the Darlington stripe. So you'll definitely see that as this race goes on. There is the leader of Lilith Peters passing Jeff Nani, and she's about to lap another car in front of her.
That's Ryan Nick Roberts.
Yep, and Rodney Uberpacker is in front of her as well.
He tagged the wall, and that'll give you pause as the leader trying to get around these lapped cars, or soon-to-be lapped cars.
It's never easy. It's never easy to get around cars here, no matter if they're the same lap as you or not. As we see Chris Worrell trying to get around Jeff Nani.
Already with just 25 laps in the books, we've got 24 cars currently still on the lead lap. Lilith Peters continues to show us the way. Chris Worrell is in second. The 7 of Zach Ward is in third. Charles Van Scoik is in fourth. And James Lowe in the 07 is in fifth.
Ooh, Lilith up into the wall in the middle of turn 3 and 4. She's okay.
Again, she's working her way around lap traffic. You can already see the right front corner of the Uberpacker 32. He's got already some damage on that car.
Yeah, it's the right sides. You gotta know that right side's not gonna look too pretty by the end of this race. Oh, 01 slammed the wall
hard, and again. We've said it already a few times here. It's easy to make a mistake on this track. You've got to be consistent.
Yep,
and
you got to be consistent for sure.
Right about now, with 27 laps, 28 laps in the books, these tires are beginning to make it a bit like ice skating out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of the times, Rick. You're a second, 1.3 off Lilith's fastest time. Almost 2 seconds off last time by for Chris Worrell and Zach Ward. 1.6 for Charles Van Scoik. 1.2 for Garrett Johnston. 2 seconds for James Lowe. So obviously some of these guys are battling lap traffic, but still it is an absolute battle out there every single lap. And Lilith Peters out by 3.2 seconds on Chris Worrell. Impressive run for her.
So significant fall off in the first 29 laps here. So far caution free, knocking wood here. But
I know I did right there.
but it's just one of those tracks. So 30 laps in, and so far clean. We're kind of working our way back through the field here a bit, and we're not seeing a whole lot of side-by-side action. A few drivers have made their way onto pit road. Sammy Harrell is on pit road. In that,
he's one of the first leaders actually on pit road. He was up there battling with in the top 15 there. So interesting to see what Sammy does. And are we going to start seeing that influx of pit stops? Is it going to show, make everybody show their hand a little bit early?
It's probably going to put him down 2 laps by the time he gets on and off. Looking for his total time. So in and out took 51 seconds before he gets out to get onto the racing surface again. So that's 2 solid laps. So
And that's what we will expect to see. Aaron Jackson on pit road.
Here comes the
There's
07.
making this, yeah.
And Lilith Peters is on pit road, your leader.
Marco Berube on. That's going to cycle Chris Worrell out to the lead. So that's 33 to 34 laps right now on that first stint. And that's what happened with Sammy Harrell. He kind of made everybody show their hand, and leaders had to come down pit road to not lose time because they were off 2 seconds on clean tires.
Yeah. So with five sets of tires, which is the one you started with, plus 4 sets in the pits, 30 laps is kind of like your benchmark. If you can do 30 or more. Here's Lilith. That was a full 4-tire stop in fuel.
You know what? This is exciting. This is exciting because we're seeing green flag pit stops at Darlington, of all tracks.
35 laps in the books. Your leader, Chris Worrell. He has not pit yet.
I think he may have just came over the radio and said he's coming in. Yep, there he is.
The 07 of James Lowe, his teammate, has already pitted. Number of drivers are on pit road. Barletta, Johnson, Nathan Harper, Ryan Cook, and Luke Bullard.
All right, Lilith Peters goes by just right there, so paying attention to the 06 and where he is going to place out against the 01, who is now making her way out of turn 1 and turn 2. Car on the wall, I believe that was the 14 of Mike Slatker there.
Jeff Deneen to the high side. Working your way around lap traffic. Now you've got Van Scoik, Bostic, and Slagter now all on pit road.
Chris Worrell just made his way off of pit road. He's going to be significantly further behind Lilith Peters than when he came down pit road, or when she came down pit road, rather.
What is that?
You got some bumping going on.
I guess. All right, Lilith Peters has cycled her way back up to the lead.
It's a 7.24 second gap between the 01 and the 06 of Lilith Peters and Chris Worrell.
Yeah, they had really nearly identical times. In fact, actually, Lilith Peters was actually slightly worse by just about 9/10 of a second with their overall stop. But still, 700ths of a second slower on the pit stop itself. But still, that's just how it all worked out. As Lilith slices and dices her way around some of this lap traffic.
And that cut the gap down just under 7 seconds, or just over 7 seconds now. It's starting to increase just a little bit more as Chris is starting to make his way through some lap traffic.
Yeah, going back to Chris's position, he's got a good bit of space in front of him. I think he will come up on one driver in front. I think that's the 40 of Jeff Nene.
I believe that is correct. And Rick, we're 40 laps into this race. I want to give a shout out to all these drivers out here. Carl. I say that we got. Oh my gosh! Did we just?
No.
Well, we're under caution.
Oh, we are into caution for Marco.
We are into caution. Oh, we just jinxed that. That was totally a jinx.
And the 20, I think that's Garrett Johnson.
Yeah, I saw that too. Oh no. Well, we jinxed the field.
Jesus.
Us broadcasters never get any luck.
Yeah.
Hey, at least we're not talking about... No, I'm not going to say it. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything. All right, looking at the 20 here, the 99 and the 07. 3 wide at Darlington's never good. You can see the 7 of Zach Ward loose out of turn 2.
So we're running behind the 20 of Garrett Johnston, and you're right. He's about to try and the 07 checked up because he saw the 7, and then the 20 said, "Hey, this is a great advantage. I'm going to try and split this at Darlington on the backstretch between the marker of Ruby and the 99 and the 07." He's still clean.
I think his...
he
let off.
He let off because, look, he had no place to go. The 40 is right there, and unfortunately, he gets collected. The 99 backs out, but the 20 overcorrects and winds up in the wall. Major front-end damage. The 99 is actually not in bad shape, but, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think it was just, obviously you want to take a gap if you see it, but then it's hard to take a gap when you have a slower car approaching you, and that's kind of what we saw right there, so unfortunate, but great run. Got some green flag stops in. Had quite a few drivers make their way down pit road. Aaron Jackson, Nathan Harper, Justin Horton, Cody Sturgill, Garrett Johnston, Sammy Harrell, Ty Bostic, Mike Slatker all on pit road.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech4Troops? Tech4Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to tech4troops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech4Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series at Darlington. We are at lap 44 for our first caution of the night. Our leader right now is Chris Worrell. You may have, if you were watching earlier, that was Lilith Peters, who was up front leading, but she took this opportunity to come back into the pit and top off for fuel. Now she's back in 8th.
Not a terrible strategy. Let's do a little math here. She came and topped off on fuel at lap 42. If we get, let's say, green flag on lap 46, 46 plus her original stint of 33, you're going to pit at 79, plus another 33, you're pitting at 112, plus another 33, 145. So she's going to try to make it to the end on that extra little bit of fuel. So interesting strategy here out of the 01, which, again, I like track position more in this situation because of how, Darlington is. Now, she's been running up front all race long, 7 seconds. She's definitely, early on, one of the fastest cars in the field. So let's see if she can make her way back up to the field. It's going to be an exciting restart, definitely, for that, which is going to put the 06 and the 07 back out front. Some of the early season front runners
and teammates.
Took the Tech4Troops Cup Series by storm. Zach Ward there, and Mr. Chuck Van Scoik in that number 23 Goat Racing diecast machine to the outside. You got Harley Barletta and Christopher Howell there.
So in this league, the leader at this point gets lane choice.
And love the choice of the high line. It's definitely the place you want to be here on the restart. And we are about to get green flag. Oh, bottom line stacks up big time. Big stack up in the bottom lane. Green flag back in the air. 07, 06 battling now into turn 1. Field stacking up in the back.
That's the 40 of Jeff Nady making his way off on pit road.
Hard contact in the wall. I don't know who that is in the back. It was a white car. Mid on pack. It may have been Maurice Burnett. Somebody slammed the wall out of turn 2. Tough hit.
So he's in that Caterpillar 8.
Maybe it was the 98 then of Christoph Hall.
Could be. Looking just further on back, there's lots of action going on. That's Sammy Harrell right there in the 43.
It may have been Sammy because his right side is all damaged up in that 43 machine.
In fact, he's
sideways. What a save. Oh, and we're not wrecking yet.
Nope, they made it. They survived. Unfortunately, you got Maurice Burnett right there that's trying to get around him on the high side. But yeah, he's got some right front damage for sure. That's a double zero.
Another car in the wall.
Yep, that's the double zero of Brian Johnson tagging that safer barrier. A lot of action back here in the field as we make our way around the Lady in Black. All right, back up front. Definitely tight battle here. Got the 23 of Van Scoik right there.
Yeah, you got a pack of cars basically nose to tail from first on back to 6 and a pass for the lead. The 07 getting around the 06 here in turn 1. Let's see how that works. Exit of this is maybe a little nasty.
So the 06 just dropped right back into the slot there. But right behind him, the 88 is battling the 7. Super hard to do on this track. Be running too wide. That's the 01 of Lilith Peters in the safer barrier.
It's not the first time we've seen that 01 up into the wall, and that's not going to be good for her. Can race, and we got we got multiple cars up in the wall up in the front. Chris Morrell and Van Scoik.
Chris Morrell just lost it, but he saved it. He's cycling back pretty far. He's back to 10th now.
And this is what happens here at Darlington. You're out front in one corner. Oh, another car into the wall, and that's how you get a little bit further on back. So this battle now is starting to heat up, and Lilith Peters up to 4th. But biggest mover of the race, Christopher Howell. There in P3 up 11 positions.
Yeah, as I said earlier, this is just one of those tracks where you do your best to drive smartly and then wait for those folks around you to make mistakes, and then with a little bit of luck, stay out of that trouble. All right, 54 laps down. James Lowe is currently showing us the way. Chuck Van Scoik in second. Christopher Howell in third.
Got some smoke there. Not really sure what that was from, but a little bit of smoke there going into turn 3.
Looking at James Lowe. We got 2 drivers in the pits. That's Ryan McRoberts and Jeff Nany.
What a run for Chuck up there in the front. You know, not the season he wanted to start off with, but late he's been making a nice charge. You know, he said he wasn't a road course racer, and then he finished P2 last week. Sounds like a road course racer to me.
Absolutely.
Especially at the Glen. Oh, car loose. That's Sammy Harrell there all the way in the bottom of the apron. He's made his way back up. Should be all right. Oh, John Ledger now tagged the wall. Goodness gracious, there's a lot going on at the track, Rick. A lot to keep up with. A lot of guys hitting the wall. A lot of guys and girl hitting the wall.
Yeah, we'll bounce around, see what we can see. Again, you just saw I think Aaron Jackson in that green and blue Goat Racing diecast car. It's just, we're going to see that puff of smoke all night.
And the toughest thing is this right here, the battles that you're trying to make in passing here in the next gen car, and how big and wide these vehicles actually are. You know, this track is fairly skinny. You know, if I had to compare this to anything else in any other type of racing, I would compare it to almost Formula One at Monaco. It's almost like the cars are just a little too big, oddly enough to say, for the track, because passing here in the corners is one of the most difficult things to do on any circuit here in the Cup Series, because of how narrow this racing surface is in the corners, and typically that's when you try to pass cars, or in the corners. So it's definitely a challenge, but great job for all these guys tonight, guys and girls.
We're looking at Nathan Harper. He's down 10 positions from his starting on the grid. He was up there in second. It's just a hard track. Unless you spent lots of time here schooling yourself, it'll wear you out. Like the 19 of Ledger was also up there in the wall. Oh, big hit. 19 slammed the retaining valve, the barrier. But battle for the lead with Chuck Van Scoik and James Lowe.
Side-by-side battle now going into turn one. Who's going to give? Here we go. It's going to be tough. 23's crowd in the 07. Here we come out of turn two. Oh, close. And again, there we go. Here comes Christopher Howell giving a little bit of a bump to the 07.
And Lilith
now looking
Peters.
to the inside. Oh, Lilith's going to slide up in front of the 23. Not quite. What a battle from first all the way to fourth now.
James Lowe, Christopher Howell, Chuck Van Scoik, and Lilith Peters. Zach Ward, that's your top five. 62 laps in the books. Trying to watch, got one eye on the leaders and one eye on second and third and fourth. But battle for the lead. I think James just said go.
He was like, hey, go right ahead. But, you know, this is one of the first times I get to say this year. Christopher Howell is on the prowl.
Oh, close,
he's up there leading for the first time this season. As you see, Lilith Peters battling side by side. There's Zach Ward and the 23.
I just don't know, you know, it's so unpredictable where iRacing says that's too close or that's not close enough. I just don't. It's up to the iRacing gods as to what that contact looks like.
Yep, it's a very fine line between net code and non-net code, and it's a risk. It's always a risk. As we see James Lowe now going to the inside with Van Scoik. James Lowe's coming down pit road actually for a second stop of the night.
That would be about that time, right? Lap 66. You assume 33 laps each. You've got both Marco Berube and James Lowe. Oh, wrecking right in front with the 5, the 05.
Wow, well, we got that right on camera. Look at that. Caught that one unintentionally. That is the 05 machine.
Austin Collins.
Oh, another big hit. Don't know who that was, Rick, but do you see that on the screen? Somebody
I saw
definitely
that.
just lost it out of turn 4.
Well, that was not of his doing.
Not at all.
I think he may have backed out of the throttle a little bit, and because you saw that's Christoph Hall in front of him. I think Christoph Hall tags the wall. His car shows a 5, but he's actually the 05. He's slowing down. 05 hits him, crumples his left rear. And then you've got the 46. That's Ryan D. Cook.
Yeah, it looked like the 5 was starting to kind of merge down just a little bit, but there's Ryan Cook to the bottom, and that's going to send that 5 up and around. Probably breaks a toe link right here. Maybe not.
Nope, tires are
Definitely ripped off the front end.
Yep. Although it looks like through the magic of iRacing, that front end gets reattached. So.
Hey, it's again the iRacing gods doing their magic.
Well, they giveth and they taketh away. So we are seeing the majority of the field is on pit roads. That earlier strategy that the Kaiju Cat Motorsports folks were trying to execute probably just got washed away with that incident.
Yeah, definitely did, and we'll see what happens here now as everybody's going to make their way back onto the track after some pit stops.
All right, we're going to take a brief commercial break. We will be right back.
Hi, America. Mark Castro, President of Tech4Troops. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you for making 2023 such an amazing year. We completed our mission, and it feels good to have another successful year behind us. But I want to tell you, this year, 2024, is our 10th anniversary. 10 years of doing this mission, and you have been so supportive of us. So I want to take a moment to say, please continue to support us. We're going to have an event or more every month. Please stay tuned in our calendar. Please stay tuned on our social media. Join us in the celebration of our mission and what we do. And we look forward to seeing you and having your support for our mission of ending veteran homelessness through bridging the technology divide. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series at Darlington in the Tech4Troops Cup Series 150 here at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. Right now, Lilith Peters with Kaiju Cat Motorsports is sitting atop the leaderboard. She will have lane choice when we go back to this restart. See a number of lapped cars that are out in front. Once we get to that one lap to the go, those drivers will get a wave around. And Lilith will wind up with Christopher Howell. I'm assuming to her outside or inside, we'll see.
These restarts have been pretty chaotic here tonight. We saw in the last restart the bottom line didn't get that great of a start. So we'll see how that pans out for some of these drivers. And Rick, the one driver who really lost out on this, James Lowe, all the way back in 19th position, minus 13 spots. Definitely not what he needed right there. He's going to be all the way in the back of this pack.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened to him on that. That was pretty odd. He'll have to work his way back through 18 other positions to get back up front. So the lights are off on our pace car, about to get started. Again, thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. You know you have a choice when you are watching sim racing, and we appreciate you spending your time here on Wednesday night with us.
Alrighty. They are in the Geico restart zone. Lilith Peters on the bottom lane control car. Green flag in the air. And
great jump.
Nobody else is ready. Yeah. Awesome move from the 01. Oh, we got some contact between the 8 and the 81. That's going to stack up the field. This is not good, Rick. Oh, this is not good.
So Chris Howell, the 06, dropped down low. But we're still too wide here. Lots of contact.
And this is what makes me nervous right here, coming out of turn 4, going into turn 1. A lot of big runs on the high line and the bottom line. Let's see what happens now with some of these guys.
Doing our best to look around through the field, see what we see. Definitely some contact there. That's the 4 of Nathan Harper. Oh, contact.
Contact.
That's the 7 and the 8. That's Maurice Burnett and Zach Ward. 39 of Justin Horton decides, I don't want any part of this. Oh, big contact.
And we're wrecking. Oh, watch out, watch out. Oh, no.
39 came down and hit Sturgill.
You saw that happening.
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah,
live and in person.
We caught another one. Look at that. I wonder if we'd be good fishermen, catching fish left and right. Don't know where that came from. I don't know. Don't ask me where that one came from. Let's go back and take a look at that replay, because that wreck started, you could arguably say, a lap prior, but between the 78, they were battling hard. All right, so you could see right there.
39 just came up big time.
But the 7 also in the wall in front of them.
Yeah, the 7 didn't have any help. He just drove into the wall. There's still contact there. Fortunately, the 64 had no place to go. Gets collected by the 39. All right, so caution flies for the third time tonight here at Darlington. An incident between the 39 of Justin Horton and the 64 of Cody Sturgill. Number of drivers on or off, that's Aaron Jackson. You've got Justin Horton in the pits, Mike Slagder, begin to see that reflection of that sun on some of these surfaces as the sun begins to set. All right, so that does put Lilith Peters back up front with Christopher Howell and Chuck Van Scoik, Chris Worrell, Harley Barletta. That's your top. That's a great showing for Barletta, up to 5. He's +5.
Oh, yeah. You got Chris Howell up 12. Luke Bullard cracked the top 10 +11. And, I know he's still -7, but James Lowe up 6 positions after starting in 19th. What I think happened on that last restart, the reason why he was all the way in the back is because when he came down pit road, I think he didn't service his car, which set him back, and then he had to come down and service his car under normal pit stop conditions. So it's either that or he came down pit road twice and serviced his car twice, but I think it's the the previous statement I made, which is unfortunate, but he's proving he's one of the fastest there on the track, back there, cracking almost the top 10. So great to see Christopher Howell up front, up 12, Maurice Burnett up 2, and Harley Barletta. We talked about him, last season, and kind of a quiet year so far, but good to see that 81 up near the front.
Absolutely. All right, 77 laps in the books. We are just past the halfway point here at Darlington. Pretty much the majority of the field, the top 16 pitted last on lap 67. Pretty much everybody to the position south of that just pitted on this go round.
I don't think that's going to change too much of the strategy. By pitting on that last caution or on this last lap per se, you still have to make 2 stops. Your last stop coming in about lap 142. So with the other drivers having to come in more than likely somewhere around lap 134. Either way, 2 more stops to the end of this race no matter what.
All right, pace car has dropped off.
Green flag back in the air. Another great restart for Lilith Peters.
We're watching this battle behind her, though. Between Chris Howell and Chris Borrell.
Chris squared up there.
But there's a lot of action, contact with the wall. I think that was Nathan Harper again. I'm surprised he's got much on that right side of that car.
Yeah, that,
he's loose again.
That right side. Yeah, that's going to knock the balance out of the car. Hits the wall almost again. They're out of turn 2. Van der Twick loose in the back. It's tough. It's really tough. When you hit that wall once, it's almost like a magnet, and it almost attracts your car lap after lap. So that right side, even though he's hit the wall pretty hard, it looks okay for hitting the wall as much as he did. So
yeah, pretty clean.
Great work by the iRacing God. Yeah, great work by the iRacing gods. They give it and they take it. They've definitely given a lot to the 7.
7 of Zach Ward is behind the 4 of Nathan Harper. There's definitely some battles shaping up back here with the 81 of Barletta, Luke Bullard, in the wall. Oh, right in front.
And we're wrecking.
Oh,
watch out. And Rick, I didn't want to talk about this word earlier, but I'm going to bring it up now. I was going to say trends on our first caution. I was like, oh yeah, our trend's looking great. Not so much. Not so much. Our trend is, trend holds true here. Which cautions breed cautions. So let's see what happened.
It does.
The 3 and...
we ran for so long without any incidents, but that's because this field, they just were patient. They spread out. We wound up single file. Now in these restarts, not so much.
Yep.
All right, let's go back to Chris Burrell here. Well, that was a little bit too fast. You didn't catch that?
Looks like the 3 just got way too hot into turn 1, hit the wall, and just nowhere for the 81 to go at that point in time.
22 slips by on the high side, and the 98 of Christoph Hall, you just had no place to go. Luckily, all those other drivers made it by.
They didn't. Our Lucky Dog Award's going to go to the 99 of Marco Berube, so he is now going to be back on the lead lap.
Good for Marco. He was involved in an earlier incident. So that puts 22 cars on the lead lap as he gets this opportunity to get his lap back. On pit road right now, Zach Ward, Sammy Harrell, Cody Sturgill, Rodney Uberpacker, and Luke Bullard all taking the opportunity to get some repairs made as well.
You know, and this is the caution that I think, if you want to come down pit road and possibly stretch out your fuel, you can. We're estimating about 33 laps on a tank of gas, Rick. Listen to this math. If you came down right now on pit road and got a full tank of gas on lap 84, 33 laps from now is 117. An additional 33 laps from now, 150, right on the dot. So I'm kind of surprised that more drivers didn't take that with what we have seen from other drivers, averaging about 33 laps on a stint. Because that means you would just have to pit one more time, potentially under green. Now, again, we've had a lot of cautions, so maybe they're expecting cautions, but I like the math in this situation. I think come down, get your fuel, so you only have to pit one more time.
So if you pitted last on lap 67, which is the majority of those positions 11 on up, then with the extended cautions we've had 2. So they may have been able to stretch this tank out. So normally it would be to lap 100, where we would be looking for them to come in for a stop. But with the 2 cautions involved, that may run up as high as 115. They may be thinking they may be able to figure it out to stretch it to 117.
Yeah, that's bold. I mean, it's a good move. I think it's definitely a big strategy play. But, with multiple laps, on average 4 to 5 laps under caution, you're probably looking at about 110 with the current fuel mileage, which means you're still going to be slightly short on the back end. Now, if we get one more, it's going to start to get really interesting on what drivers start to do, because no matter what, you would still have to come down pit road. So, it's almost a matter of not if, but when you make your move. So, yeah, this could possibly, if we go green, turn into what we all love, some fuel strategy racing. So, here we go. 88's laying off quite a bit on the high side. Trying to tag up, and then we're off. Green flag racing. 88 not off to a good start. 06 not as well. Willis has been fantastic on those restarts.
Absolutely. That puts the 06 of Chris Worrell right there. You've got a lot of... There's the 81 of Barletta. He survived that incident to fight again. But he's got the 20 of Johnston right there to his inside. They were battling earlier. There's going to be... I thought there was going to be contact, but there's not. Good for them.
I think the 81 may have tagged the wall just a hair out of turn 4, which is going to allow that 20 to take that spot. A car in the wall a little bit further on back. Darker colored car.
Right there. Watching it again, that's John Ledger. But no caution. Caution did not come out. He points it back in the right direction, loses some position, gets to the tail end of the field, but he survives to, he stays out there. He's definitely going to be looking for John pitted last on lap 67. He's probably got some pretty good wear on those tires.
Yeah, after that long slide, those tires are not going to be happy, especially if he locked them up and maybe has a flat spot on them. But right now, these front 6, 7, 8 drivers are absolutely ripping the wall in turn 1 and turn 2. It's cool to see. You'll see it right here once they, yeah.
Oh, that's the 06 of Chris Morrell. Just running right into the safer barrier. That slowed him down a bit.
Do a little crank it up, why don't we?
Can do that. Oh, there's definitely some contact. Lilith Peters continues to show us the way here. Lap 93. Chris Morrell is sitting in second. Christopher Howell in third. Nathan Harper in fourth. And Garrett Johnson is in fifth. Now we're seeing the drivers get more of a single file approach now. Looking back through the field. A little bit of movement here, right on the tail. That's the 39 on the bumper of the 48. That's Justin Horton, right behind the 48 of Philip Van Artwijk. And then he's got the 7 of Zach Ward right there as well as he begins trying to work his way back up towards the front. .48 tags the wall.
Oh, got some side-by-side action right now going on.
39 trying to work his way around.
Yeah, side-by-side has always produced some exciting moments here. We'll see what happens now between these drivers. There goes the 39 on by. Here's Zach Ward now.
All of these drivers came in around lap 82 here in the back. And stark difference from those folks that are up front. Again, they pitted last, top 5, pitted last on lap 67.
And just watching some of these lap times as well, the leaders aren't too far off some of those drivers that pit on lap 82. James Lowe, one of the front runners with Van Scoik, 28.9. Lilith last lap, 28.9. So interesting there from a numbers perspective on how the strategy has affected these tires. And it doesn't seem at this moment that tires have been that much of an advantage for those guys that pit on lap 82.
Nope, and James Lowe continues to work his way back up towards the front. He's now in 11th. Riding along with James. Definitely taking that approach of shifting in and out.
And this is what I love so much about Darlington, Rick, is that it is all about car control, handling, and throttle control, as well as your brake and your trailing, as we just surpassed lap 100, now 50 laps to go here in tonight's event. But right here, you know, you're trying to determine how much throttle to give it, because everybody wants to just floor it around Darlington, but you can't. You gotta set yourself up for the tail end of the corner so you can actually make the corner. That's the biggest thing. If you don't make that corner, you are losing a lot of time.
All right,
Oh,
James.
Lilith up in the wall, big time. Sorry, Rick. Lilith was up into the wall for quite a bit there, which has allowed the 06 to come to the back doorstep.
Big battle with Christopher Worrell and Lilith Peters. Again, these guys are all on lap 67, older tires. But also fuel. At some point, fuel is going to be a factor.
Still thinking about 110. That's my rough calculation for some of these drivers based off of what we've seen. Now, that may have been short pitting that first green flag stop, so we may see a little bit of a later stop. But if they can get it to 117, that's the magic number, we believe, for making it all the way to the end.
Chris Worrell keeps sticking that nose out, trying to see if this is the time to get around Lilith.
Oh, he backed it up. He may try to get a run out of turn 4 right here. Set her up for turn 1. Oh, he didn't get as big of a run as I think he wanted to.
A little bit of lap traffic coming up. That's the 54. That's David Watts. Looks like he dropped out of the way, let the leaders go by. Good sportsmanship on behalf of the 54.
Oh, the 06 is trying to get up there. He might try to get a better run out of turn 4 again. Doesn't do it this time. That 06 does seem to be a little bit faster.
It's just hard to pass here.
The way I've always approached it is you have to set up your pass in the opposite corner that you actually want to pass in. So if you want to pass going into turn 3, you need to start making that move into turn 1 and vice versa. So it's definitely, you know, like what you were saying, Rick, if you get a good run out of turn 2, it'll set you up great for turn 3 and turn 4. And that's what I think we're about to see right here for the 06.
Yep, slips underneath.
Oh! Big hit from the 01 into the wall.
There's action happening behind as well, as now Chris Worrell takes over the lead.
And yellow on the track.
Philip Vandertwick. That's the 48. You can see the skid marks. So now lap 107. That really is a new wrinkle. We do expect the leaders to come down onto pit road. Let's see if we can grab a quick look in what happened to Philip. Oh, there's contact pinching the 90. Let's back it up just a little bit.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard dive into turn 1 there.
So the 98's just staying up, minding his own business. You see him straddling that seam there. The 48 is in that lower groove. 98 stays up there. Leaders are now coming out of pit road. The 98 does come down. Looks like he thought better of it, but unfortunately,
yeah, nowhere to go.
nowhere to go. Yeah.
So, Rick, the top 20 are on pit road right now. All the lead lap cars are on pit road.
Who didn't come in was
being...
Chuck Van Scoik.
And that's what I was about to say. I was thinking about the strategy here. If we are, making an educated guess, a guesstimate, we have about 33 laps. We are right now 10 laps short. So stay out for 10. Make sure you have, you obviously have enough fuel to make it, because 82 plus some caution laps, let's say 86 plus 33, about 119. That means you're 2 to the good if you're running a 33 lap stint. Do you bank on there not being a caution and everybody else forcing to either go into extreme fuel save mode and or pit again, and you stay out, pit here in about 10 laps, and then you're good to go to the end, and you know that for sure?
Well,
that's kind of the strategy game you're playing right now.
Yeah, and I'm concerned. You've got the GOAT Racing guys chose track position, and took this opportunity to come up to the front. So you've got Chuck Van Scoik in the 23, the 43 of Sammy Harrell. They will be your front row. But they're they pitted last on lap 82.
Yeah, and we've seen what happens when you are on old tires and everybody else is on new tires.
Especially at a relatively short track like Darlington.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave. If anything, I'd go get some popcorn right now, because you're about to see some chaos unfold, or at least a lot of dicey moves, because, oddly enough, with what we know and what I believe is the fuel stint, unless we get 2 more cautions, you're not going to be able to make it to the end on that last pit stop. You're going to have to come out again. So these drivers, it's risky. It's risky for sure. But why not, throw it out there, see what happens.
You're not going to know until you find out. So
exactly.
Well, the lights are off on top of the pace car. That means we are at lap 110. We will go back to racing at lap 111. And that puts Sammy Harrell and Charles Van Scoik on the front row. Again, they pitted last on lap 82. There is 25 fresher laps of tires behind them.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, so that goes back nearly the entire field is on fresher tires. So that proves interesting.
And what I'm curious about, and this is what I think will judge how this call is going to run, what's going to be the delta between the tires where the people that just came down pit road pit, and also when they come down pit road, which we anticipate about 8 laps. Are those lap times going to be different from 8 lap fresher tires? I don't know, but we're about to find out here. Coming to lap 111, green flag back in the air. Great launch from the 23. Harrell tries to crowd the up. He does. And just like that, here comes the
contact.
06. Oh, push him in the wall.
Oh, that's the 000. Big wreck.
Oh, we're wrecking in the back. There's going to be a caution. There might be a caution in the back. If there isn't, I don't know how there's not, but we got a hornet's nest up here, Rick, up in the front, 3 wide. Oh my goodness, we are going wild here on the front stretch. Cars backing out.
Contact
Jamie Harrell
in the wall. Lilith Peters makes her way around, up to second. The 88 is up there as well.
Oh, car spun in the back. Car spun on the back stretch. Not sure who that was.
Zach Ward.
Somebody was wrecked.
Zach Ward.
Yeah. What a tough break for him. He was running up front all night long.
No caution.
Got Nathan Harper up in the wall again in the 4 car. Rick, that didn't work very well.
Nope, no, and there's a lot of movement here. The 20 is up under. The 4 is also there, trying to get up under these goat racing guys. Under Sammy Harrell there, trying to get by.
I mean, the tires just can't compete. I mean, it's you know, it's like a Jaws movie.
Yep, they're being run over. James Lowe now up to 8th as he tries to work his way around the 43 of Harrell. That's for position. Got the 3 of Luke Bullard right there. That's the 00 still out on the track. Too wide the back here, mid-back actually. All right, back up front.
The battle's on between Lilith and Chris.
It's like a deja vu all over again.
I'm about to say, I feel like we've been reading different chapters of this book between the two of them every single week, and right now we're on chapter 8, Darlington. And because they are, you know, the only, between those two drivers, there are 6 wins in the Tech4Troops Cup Series, 6 out of 8. And we don't even know our winner for tonight, so really 6 out of 7. One non-winner between the two of them. So here we go. We got Van Scoik and Sammy Harrell down pit road, 118. I wonder if they've been listening to our strategy, Rick.
This is the right time.
By what we think is the right time, this could be the money stop. Chuck and Sammy, do your own due diligence, please. Don't pin that on us.
Don't go by us.
We can only, yeah, we are making guesstimates up here in the booth based off of what we've seen. But right here, this battle is ferocious between the 06 and the 01. Lilith trying to make her name go back to back to back here. Oh, she got to the outside of the 06. What a move by Lilith, but not going to work.
No, Worrell has the line that works for him, and he's sticking with it. You know, this kind of like right now, this is the last race of the first half of our season 3. Sorry, season 4. And then next week we go to the All-Star break.
Yeah, we do. We go to the All-Star break, and then there's only 4 more races until our playoffs start. A 12-race regular season, then followed by our 7-race playoffs after our All-Star break next week, which is North Wilkesboro. We have Iowa, Pocono, Dover, and last but not least, Talladega. Yep, Talladega, the race before the playoffs. Rick, I feel like we're just writing a movie script at this point, because that seems like the best place to go for excitement. And speaking of excitement, we got, oh no, got a lot of cars on the wall there.
Yep, that was the 40 of Jeff Nini as people are trying to make their way around him. 48, Jeff's just kind of holding it up there to avoid causing anybody else any issues. Jeff's had a hard night tonight.
Hey, but he does a good Ross Chastain, and I think that's a compliment, actually. That's a compliment there. Good job, Jeff. Always, you know, hates seeing him get involved in stuff, but always tries to do, you know, he does the best he can to get out of the way and does a great job every week on that. So right now, looking back through the field, Rick, The two drivers that we need to pay attention to are Sammy Harrell and Charles Van Scoik. They are back in 18th and 19th, one lap down, anticipating that everybody else is going to have to come down pit road, barring any non-green flag conditions. So here's the pass for the lead, though.
06 was loose.
06. Yeah, he definitely got on the wall. And back to the point, Lilith Peters.
Absolutely. So just as a note, Sammy Harrell and Chuck Van Scoik. Chuck's pit stop was a little bit longer. It wound up being 17.67 seconds. That's nearly 2 seconds longer than Sammy Harrell's. But that put them out in 18th and 19th. But everybody is going to have to pit.
They will. It's just a matter of time.
So they pitted last on lap 107. If you assume 33 laps, that says lap 140. But really at this point, with 25 laps to go, it's where you choose to short pit, right? Do you hang out and you wait for what you believe will be another caution to fly? Or do you come in under green flag conditions and get it done?
That's going to be the tale of how this race is going to go. I'm very curious to see when these front runners come down pit road, if they come down pit road. That's the big thing.
Well, we're on lap 126 with just 24 laps to go. You've got to come down at some point because you can only make it based on what we know to lap 140. So this is where that strategy comes into play. Hopefully these drivers have figured that out. They've got a good crew chief or team orders of trying to figure that out, but we'll see. Looks like these leaders are about to come up. I think that is David Watts. You saw that, did you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's getting dicey. It's
I think he
all
used
the cards
the
are
25
out.
as a pick.
I mean, at this point in the race, you got to.
A couple of cars on pit road, mostly just getting repairs made. Nobody has chosen to come down, but everybody, with the exception of Sammy Harrell and Chuck Van Scoik, from what we can tell here in the booth. Also, James Lowe, he came down on lap 120. Those three are good to go to the end of the event. Some good clean racing between the 06 of Morel and the 01 of Peters here.
Let's see if Peters makes a move.
So she backed out, actually. Oh, the 06 was in the wall. One of the things you have to be careful of is as you're driving behind somebody, especially on a track like this, it's easy to get fixated on their bumper. And if that car you're watching runs itself right into the wall, you've got to be careful you don't make the same mistake.
Correct. Also, we just got our first driver on the top 5 to 10 coming down pit road, Nathan Harper, with 18 laps to go.
I think
that could be an interesting move. Yeah, I think we would too. You know, that's not a bad move because we saw lap times. I mean, they're starting to fall off majorly right now, but they didn't start falling off pretty severely till about a lap after 15 on those set of tires. Ty Bostic now on pit road. So we're seeing the stint start to go in now. Luke Bullard on pit road. Well, the cards have been dealt. Everybody needs to show their hand, and right now, the hand that Morrell and Peters are showing, yeah.
Both
They're on pit
NB2
road.
drivers are on pit road.
You got Christopher Howell and Mike Slatker on pit road as well.
All right, back up front are our leaders.
15 laps to go. Are we going to get a repeat winner? Are we going to get maybe Garrett Johnston or Aaron Jackson? A first-time winner here, rookies in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Could they bring home a win? Look at Justin Horton, another rookie. Car wrecked on the back. I think everybody's, car on the wall. And Lilith Peters down pit road.
Caution has not flown. Cody Sturgill also on pit road. This is such a gamble.
It definitely is. Right now I'm taking a look at Charles Van Scoik and where his teammate is. Mr. Sammy Harrell. Van Scoik now 6 seconds ahead. Or 6 seconds behind.
That was
Ty
fuel
Bostic.
fuel only for Lilith.
Well, that's a bold move. Her last laps were not. I mean, let me look back. A 30.1. I mean, is the net gain there?
Jackson and Barletta are in.
I mean, based off of fresh tires, you're looking at about 1.5 seconds. Over 10 laps, you're looking at about 15 seconds. I don't know. That's a bold move. That's a very bold move by Lilith Peters.
We find out Nathan Harper, he did what looks to be right side only.
You got Harley Barletta and Aaron Jackson on pit road now. Chris Farrell.
He's got to come in. Same with Johnston, Horton, and Maurice Burnett. John Ledger. Now
here he goes.
Oh.
All right. So last lap, Lilith Peters ran a 29.8. Morrell ran a 30.1. This time by Peters ran a 29.7. Let's see what Mr. Chris Howell does, or Chris Farrell does rather. See what the 06 does here. Does he take tires? Does he just take rights? Right sides.
Just right side or a four-way. That's it.
He's off. And Lilith Peters just got by him right there. So that's going to be the gap. ASG tags the wall there. Chris Farrell looking on back. He is going to be roughly 5 seconds back from Lilith Peters, I would imagine, which puts Garrett Johnston up there at the point.
Johnston's up there by himself with Christoph Hall. Both of those drivers, Johnston, Horton, and Hall, still have yet to pit. Oh, Peters has tagged the wall.
Yeah, that's... She just ran a 29.8. This is going to be interesting to see what Chris Farrell runs with 8 laps to go. She is loose as all get out. She just ran a 30.1 that last lap. Chris Farrell ran a 29.1.
In the wall
full
again.
1 second off.
Yeah, but can he make it up with just 7 laps to go?
I'm not sure. That's going to be the
Garrett
move.
Johnson's
Justin
in
Horton.
the pit.
Yep.
Justin Horton looks like he's setting himself up to go down to pit road. Yes, he is.
Oh, he's way. He's got it.
But Ty
Last time by.
Bostic just worked his way in front of Lilith. He does not have to stop. He's good to go. That's your new leader.
Pit last. Yeah, I think that actually is going to be. Yes. Look at Ty. What a strategy call, pitting 3 laps before Lilith. Ty Bostic now to the point with 6 laps to go.
Nathan Harper is in second. Lilith Peters is in third. Worrell fourth. Zach Ward fifth. With just 6 laps to go.
I think Worrell is going to catch Lilith Peters there. I mean, he's already almost at the back doorstep right now. There's Ty Bostic trying to get around some lap traffic. Oh.
Same thing here. That's the 19 of Ledger. You've got Christoph. No, that's. I'm sorry. That's the 06 of Worrell. Lilith is currently showing in fifth.
She is.
But with 5 laps to go, our story is Ty Bostic.
What a move. What a run by Ty. You know, he did qualify in 5th, so it's not like he wasn't up at the front, but what a call. His last stop, and also what a call by Nathan Harper. Their pit stops last time were 10.02 and 10.22 seconds, followed by Chris Farrell with 9.92. That tells me they all took right side tires.
Yep. And it shows.
Oh, it's definitely showing. Lilith has run a 30.5 her last lap. It's definitely showing for sure.
Three laps to go, folks. Ty Bostic out in front. Chris Worrell has now moved up to second.
Okay, here we go.
Got the 48, I think, in between him and Bostic. Trying to negotiate around.
That gap has been slowly closing. It's now at 1.8 seconds. He has to make up 9/10 a lap.
But it's 2 laps to go. Bostic's biggest problem is traffic.
Yeah, I mean, Ty's net's down to 1.5, Rick, 1.4, 1.3. It's closing. 1.2. All right. Oh, Lilith Peters almost wrecked. Lilith Peters is sideways.
Final lap.
White flag in the air. Ty Bostic, 1.2 seconds ahead of Chris Worrell.
Worrell gets around the lapped car, but there is not going to be enough time.
No, there is not. Not enough time for the 06 of Worrell, who's been up front all day long. But today's win is going to go to Ty Bostic in the 22. What a strategy call. He wins at Darlington. What a move. With Chris Worrell in second and Nathan Harper third. Christopher Howell in fourth. Oh, big wreck. Whoa, we got a... Oh, man. Well, Calamity Corner is now turn 1. We got cars all over the place.
Bostic making his way around to try and get to the start-finish line with all this drama happening around. Harley Barletta.
We got to. I said we got cars upside down.
What a great finish.
Absolute fantastic finish for sure.
All right, we're going to focus
a bit
on Ty Bostic getting over to the start-finish line to celebrate his victory here. I think this is relatively a home track for Ty. We can ask him in the booth, but I think this is like his track.
Well,
Well,
I can see why.
I mean, Rockingham is obviously, I think that he's close to Rockingham, but you know, Darlington is only a hop, skip, and a jump from Rockingham.
Exactly. So, what a win by that 22 machine of Ty Bostic.
It's good to see NB2 also back up with a win.
Oh yeah, they were very dominant last season, and we thought that they were one of the best teams overall. Looking at their results here tonight, not what Luke wanted by any means. He finished. He did finish +9 in 12th, but what a run there by the 22 of Ty Bostic, winning tonight's race. And I think we've mentioned his car a little bit in the pre-race, that lovely Kellogg's Throwbacks game. That may have given a little bit more motivation there. Looks like we have
race results are in.
Fine, alrighty. Race results are in. We do have some interesting commentary going on about finishing positions and after the race. So this is unofficial results, just from what I'm seeing, Rick. But Ty Bostic for sure wins. Chris Worrell in second. Nathan Harper in third. Christopher Howell in fourth. Mike Slatker in fifth. Lilith Peters in sixth. Garrett Johnson in seventh. Harley Barletta in eighth. James Lowe in ninth. And Charles Van Scoik in 10th.
All right, in 11th, you've got Sammy Harrell. 12th is Luke Bullard. 13th is Maurice Burnett. In 14th, Christoph Hall. 15th, Zach Ward. John Ledger is in 16th. Marco Berube finishes in 17th. In 18th, Justin Horton. 19th, Aaron Jackson. And Cody Sturgill finishes in 20th.
Bobby Gibson finishes in 21st. Ryan McRoberts in 22nd. Philip Vandertwig in 23rd. Rodney Uberpacker 24th. Ryan D. Cook in 25th. Jeff Denis in 26th. David Watts in 27th. Brian Johnson in 28th. Austin Collins there in 29th. And rounding out your last position is Zach Allen there in 30th. There's some interesting commentary going on. That's all I need to say about some extracurricular activities, Rick, that we saw with involving some incidents and cars not crossing the finish line.
That will
causing some drivers.
Yeah.
Yep. So causing some drivers to potentially go multiple laps down.
Okay. All right, Nathan Harper joins us in the broadcast booth. Nathan, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Definitely did not expect that. Where do I even begin?
Well, I mean, judging from what we saw, and this track is, some people love this track, other people just despise it. It's just a challenging track for sure.
Yeah, you're right about that. But the track itself, though, I wouldn't say it's extremely difficult. I mean, yeah, it takes some skill, of course, but when you throw me out there with a bunch of cars, man, I mean, you saw from the beginning, we fell down to what, like 13th. The long run, it just got me, and I couldn't figure it out. We were getting tight, and I was like, well, this is not looking good for us. Probably going to finish like 15th or something. And then I can't really remember the sequence. I think we stayed out on one stop for position, and then I think the stop afterwards, yeah, we pit. And then on that last run, I broke my steering, and I'm like, well, crap. So I pitted, and I said, screw it, we're going to take rights. And looking back at it, if I didn't break my steering, I probably would have finished either second or maybe won it. So that mistake is really coming back to bite me right now. And I don't know. I need to see when he pitted, but I probably could have maybe had a chance at it there at the end. But yeah, I just kind of got lucky. I mean, P3 just kind of fell into my lap. I mean, we were not fast at all today. I was just struggling. But I mean, oh well, P3 it is.
Yep, I hear you. All right, any shout outs tonight, Nathan?
Yes, my teammate Lilith, she probably would have won if she took rights, but she had a pretty strong run tonight. Kaiju Cat, the team, and hang on, I still can't remember my sponsors. Let me look at the back of my car. Sorry, hang on. You can tell I'm not used to doing interviews.
Well, get used to them. You're doing so well so far.
Yeah, I guess. FoxFireFoods.com. I'll get that memorized, but yeah, shout out to my sponsors, my team, and y'all for commentating. I always watch back, and y'all do a good job making it entertaining. And everybody who showed up tonight, it was a 30-car field, which was surprising because I mean, it's Darlington. Like, who wants to show up for this? But
It's a
yeah,
tough
that's
track.
all I got. It is
right.
a very tough track.
All right, that's your P3 finisher, Nathan Harper with Kaiju Cat coming in third here. Next week we move on to our All-Star break, and so there's an open, so maybe we'll see you there for sure next week.
Yeah, if I don't break my steering.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
You got it. Chris Worrell, welcome to the broadcast booth. Congratulations.
What's up, Rick?
We thought this was going to be a run back. It was close. It was close.
Yeah, I should have pit a lap or two earlier. I was talking to Ty. Congrats to Ty. He got his first win this season. Surprised it wasn't sooner, honestly. He's a really good driver. He's always fun to race with, so congrats to him. Yeah, I think Lilith had it in the bag there. I don't know if she didn't have tires or not. I know I beat the hell out of the wall, so my car, like,
yeah,
the lap car got in the way.
She made a strategy call and took fuel only.
I don't know if that was because she didn't have any tires or what, but I took rights because, I mean, I had to. I was just so tight. I'd beat the wall up so bad. If it wasn't for that lap car slowing her up that one time, I wouldn't have got back in front of her. She would have just pulled away. But I don't know. I got lucky there, I guess. So.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations on your finish. Any shout-outs tonight?
To the team, Austin, James, Ty for the win, Nathan for a podium. Lilith did a good job. I hate that she wasn't there at the end for that. I really thought she had that one in the bag. Tech4Troops, you guys for putting on the broadcast, and that's about it.
All right. There you have it. Your second place finisher, Chris Worrell, coming in second to our last race before our All-Star break. And I guess, Chris, we will definitely see you next week.
Thanks, man. Looking forward to it.
You got it. All right. That's Chris Worrell. And now we welcome the winner of tonight's Tech4Troops Cup Series event here in Darlington, Mr. Ty Bostic.
How's it going, guys?
We're doing great, Ty. How are you?
Well, better now.
You know, it was we were just kind of commenting on, and you know, you get the strategy award for the night.
Yeah, I was trying to decide when I wanted to go in, and I just decided to pull the trigger one lap, and it ended up working out pretty good.
Absolutely. You know, so you're kind of just you're hanging mid pack. You drove through a lot. There was a lot of drama later in the field, but you seemingly were able to avoid most of that, and you wound up where you needed to be at the very end.
Yeah, that's right. I was actually near the front of the pack there for a while, but on that first green flag stop we had, I have a new fuel calculator overlay, and I was going based off of that, and I ended up running out of gas pulling into the pit. So,
wow!
My boy old Mike Slacker gave me a push to my stall, so I could actually make it there.
Okay, so that explains what we saw on pit road.
Yep. Yeah, I was running out, and he gave me a little shove, so I clutched it in and coasted. So I was in fifth, and I went from fifth to 18th or something like that after the first green flag cycle because I was an idiot.
Well, that happens. Any shout-outs tonight, Ty?
Well, like I said, shout out to Mike for giving me a push so I didn't have to tow my car back to the pits. I'll shout out to y'all for putting the league on, the broadcasters and all the admins, the sponsors, and everybody that runs with us. It's always a great time.
So next week we head off to the All-Star break, and I think this gives you a pass. You don't have to compete in the Open.
I actually had a couple wins last season, so I was actually
Oh,
already in
already
it.
qualified. That's correct. I forgot about that. That's part of the rules here. If you've if you've won previously and you're a previous winner, you do get a automatic buy into the event. So,
Right.
all right, good. So we'll definitely see you next week in North Wilkesboro. What do you think about North Wilkesboro?
I haven't driven it in a long time, so I really don't know how it's going to go. I actually missed the All-Star race last year because I was on vacation in Florida. So I don't even know how it actually went last time. So it's probably been 2 years since I've driven it. I've always enjoyed driving it, but I don't know if I've actually driven it in the next-gen cars, usually super lates and things like that.
Well, it should be a fun race.
It should be.
All right, so there's your winner of the Tech4Troops Cup Series event here at Darlington Raceway, Mr. Ty Bosick of NV2 Motorsports. We congratulate Ty, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, John, any wrap-up?
I just got to say, congrats to Ty. Awesome win, awesome strategy call. That definitely won the race for him. Cool to see him locked into the playoffs. So got 4 more races until we are into our playoff season. But obviously, Rick, as he mentioned, next week is the All-Star race. So that's going to be a fun one, of course. Don't want to miss that. Don't want to miss the INRS series tomorrow night as well here on the IWM Broadcast Network. But shout out to all the podium finishers here tonight. Great race, and looking forward to next week.
All right, that sounds great. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow night if you can tune in, or we'll see you next Wednesday for another Tech4Troops Cup Series event, this time in North Wilkesboro. Have a great night.